Hello and welcome to the SML podcast. This is SML Total Access, the greatest podcast on the SML network. And I'm just going to fire a shot off the only podcast on the SML network because we're the only one that's
Oh,
doing it consistently right now. And welcome, my co host, Zizi the Great.
yes. Welcome. Hello, fellas. Welcome to the SML Total Access podcast, man, where we break down and we do everything that's great about the SML here on this podcast, man. We talk about the losers, the winners, the upsets. We even go into a little bitty, tiny bit of political discussion. Everything
Yes.
happens here. This is the best place to be.
Yeah, man, I am fired up. And I'm fired up for many reasons. And something that this is near and dear to my heart is trash talking and just how people conduct themselves. And I guess as I say that, there's a few topics I want to hit on this. The
Yes.
first being me and Meats got in a debate the other day. I'm not sure if you saw it. Like, let's say you and I are heading into a game, and I'm trash talking you the whole time, and you're not
Yes.
saying anything back. You don't respond, or you just say we'll see. I'll let my play do the talk. You don't say anything. Then after the game, you beat me. I don't think you should be able to trash talk because you didn't have any skin in the game. You didn't talk trash beforehand. What do you think
Right.
about that?
Right. That is. Oh, I'm totally against any of that type of behavior. Of course, in the SML, you can do what you want, but I don't think it's very honorable. I
Right.
think if before you go into a game and you think you're gonna win and you want to talk trash about it, talk trash before you do it. Talk trash the whole week, mind
Yeah.
you. Even if you're gonna get your ass kicked,
Hmm.
as in the case of me versus Meats this week. I didn't just go into that game and I'm gonna win in the middle of the game when I was up 10. No, right before the game started, I said I'm gonna whoop Meat's ass,
Yes.
and I almost did.
Yeah.
Even though Meats my boy, I love you, Meats, but I win that game, dude, and I almost fucking handed it to his ass if I hadn't got strip sacked. And on that point, the strip sack, man, after everything happened and the strip sack happened and everything, yeah, I was disappointed. I wanted to meet bad. I mean, to beat Meats badly because I would have knocked his undefeated record out, and he would have remembered that forever, and I would have loved it. But the fact that it didn't happen did not make me like salty about it. I was
Right.
still a good game, Meats, man. That was a great freaking game. I still had fun. I don't think it changed anything in my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's a little bit different from a lot of the other guys.
Well, I think there's two sides of it. Like you hit it on the head. If you're gonna talk trash beforehand, and this is gonna be the don't at me, bro. Conk, don't at me, bro. But you're a guy who will talk trash before a game, guarantee a win,
Yes.
and then if you lose, you're gonna be like, oh, this is BS. You're a bum still. Like, no, dude, just
Yes.
you
Yes.
gotta you just gotta own up. Like, hey, the better guy won today, and that's another side of the trash talk. But back to what I was getting at. Like Meats' theory is, I'm not gonna talk trash. I'm gonna screenshot the messages and then post them after
Yes.
the game. That way, technically, I'm not saying anything, but really, you're just being a passive aggressive coward. Meats, don't at me.
Oh shit. Yeah, well, I get exactly what you're saying. Though. You can't come after me after the fact, bro. You got to come at me before that. You got to come at me. You got to let me know what you're gonna do beforehand. You can't wait and then just say, "Oh," when I got into it with Ron Koo. Ron Koo, by the way, is fucking playing awesome.
Yeah,
Just
he's a
throw
great
that in there
player.
real
He's a great
quick.
player.
Yeah. He's been playing great. But he went after me one day, man. He woke up in the morning. He was after me from noon to fucking
Yeah.
nighttime, and we went after each
And
other.
what'd
And I
you
turned
do?
around and I beat that ass.
Yes.
But you know we talk shit the whole day, and I respect that because he talked shit all day before that, and then
Mm-hmm.
he even talked shit after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like you said, the passive aggressive way of style it's a bit I don't I don't want to say the wrong word because I might get reported, but but you can't do shit like that,
Yeah.
dude. If you're gonna talk shit. If you're not, then
Yeah.
don't say
Yeah.
nothing.
And to me,
If you're not,
go
yeah,
on.
go ahead.
It's just not really a matter of looking smart. That was once again that was an argument, and a few people even put that in the poll. I don't think you look smart if you do it. Like I said, if you're afraid of
Yes,
looking dumb, just don't talk trash at all and just play your games. Like
exactly. And
like
just play your game. Be a silent killer, like
Future
future,
Empire,
future,
future.
future Empire. We both said at the same time. That's a silent killer, bro. He's not gonna talk shit. He ain't gonna say nothing to you. But when you play him, Yeah, it's laying dead on the field afterwards.
Yeah. I'll tell you what though. One time I pissed off Future Empire, and he talked trash to me, and we had a lot of good games, and it's fun lighting a fire underneath that guy. Um,
Yeah.
but anyway, so yeah, if you're not gonna talk trash, don't talk it at all. If you are gonna talk trash, don't wait till afterward after you got in the bag. That is a coward's way out. End of
And
story.
and in the meantime, while we're on this subject, I know it's not technically on the schedule here, but um the trash talk in chat, period. Dude, it's okay to talk trash in this chat. We love it. Everybody loves the trash talk. It's cool. And I just was reading. I think you and Meats were just playing UFC
Me and
just
Conk.
now.
Me and Conk.
You and Conk were playing
Yeah.
UFC, and you guys were playing, and he was like, "It's because and you was like, oh, you kicked me and then knocked me out." And I'm like, "Oh, that sounded like a fucking badass fucking shit." And then you were like, "It's because I'm the GOAT," and he was like, "No, because you're a pussy." And then but you guys kept going
Yeah.
because you know fucking Conk.
Right.
You know him. You didn't take offense that he called you a pussy at
Right.
that point. But if had it been somebody you don't usually chat with like that, calling you a pussy, it's a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you just a pussy. You know,
Right.
and everybody can get the context. I know we're texting, and Texas
Right.
can be misconstrued a lot of times. You can text somebody something and they'll interpret it a different way. But I just think that everybody knows who Conk is, right? And this is kind of just for Conk. Everybody knows who he is. Everybody knows what Conk is. Everybody calls him a fucking you know. And I think he takes that role and
He likes it.
doesn't. Yeah, and he doesn't take offense to it.
No.
He doesn't take offense to us calling him a fucking asshole and an idiot. Him and Tiny go at it. I think
Yeah.
a lot of the guys know who this guy is, but you can't take offense when Conk is coming after you, bro, because it's not serious. He doesn't mean anything by it. He's harmless. He's not doing anything to anybody. He's just fucking Conk.
Right.
That's just what he does. But at the same time, guys, if somebody is letting you know that you're going too far, relax. Take a fucking step back. Chill out. And I think it's for the guys as well. If you're gonna prod Conk and he comes
Yes.
after you, then hey man, it is what it is. You prod fucking Conk.
Right.
You know what time it is. And so and if it does happen, hey, and you think it's gotten too serious, just say, hey man, stop talking to me.
In
And
the
I think
DMs.
that's kind of
And
yeah.
it's just a typical case of if you poke a bear, you're gonna get bit. And what people like to do, and it's like Conk. Listen, he's harmless. In my opinion, he's harmless. And at first, I think he came into the league and he was one of those guys who come into a league and they talk a lot of trash and then they get their butts whooped.
Yeah.
But he came
And
into the
then
league
leave.
and then leave.
Yeah.
But Conk
Yeah.
is he right now he's second seed in the AFC and he's kind of surprising some people. But beyond that, I think that a lot of people want to just jab him and call him stupid, but they don't want to get their feelings hurt back. So it's just like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's just like the trash talk where they want to be able to talk trash, but they don't want to get crapped on if they lose, you know. So it's like, you know, don't.
Yeah, I think it's important that we just had this conversation, man, because Conk, like you said, when we first brought him in, I thought he would be gone soon afterwards, but I knew he was a good player when we first brought him in because he was a good player in the primer.
Yeah.
And I think that whole who Conk is, man, if you're gonna mess with Conk, you know what time it is. It's kind of the same thing. And I think guys can tell when things are getting serious. And if things get serious in chat, please just back off.
Yeah.
And just leave each other alone. It's not that hard. If I DM you and say, hey man, you guys chill out. Just back off and chill out. Nobody's at fault. Just things got a little bit out of hand. I don't think it needs to get that serious. But everybody needs to understand that, hey man, we got a Conk now.
Yeah, and so,
he's a verb.
Yeah, you got conked,
Conking, man.
So
he's the feed be conked up, you know.
Yeah, and that leads me to my next subject. I asked the anonymous personality about Conk. I asked him. I said, "Can Conk win a Super Bowl or be a serious contender?" And this is what he had to say.
Will Conk win a Super Bowl? No.
All All right, so the answer by him was an obvious no. What's your thoughts? Conk right now is a second seed in the AFC. He's beat a lot of quality opponents. He played Meats very close early in the season. What's your thoughts on Conk possibly making a Super Bowl run?
Conk is a good player. He knows how to play the game. He knows how to play a lot of games, but it's a Super Bowl material. I think it takes a lot of mental fortitude to win a Super Bowl in the SML in particular. There's a league. Once Super Bowl time comes around, which playoffs come around, we got one more week, fellas. I'm excited. When playoff comes around, man, it is time to lock it down. These guys get into you're gonna get their best game in those playoff games. And I think that with the Bengals having the schedule that they had from last year and the situation Conk said now, I think, and I'm not trying to say you're inflated, Conk, by any reason. Don't you at me about that bullshit. I just know that he's gonna win with a positive record. He'll probably be out by the divisional round.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give him more than the divisional round.
Yeah. Conk has yet to face playoff prime, and I'm excited for that matchup. I'm ready. I'm rubbing my hands. I'm chomping at the bit to have a shot at Conk in the playoffs because
I can't wait, dude.
He doesn't know the beast. And so yes, Conk. I would say divisional round. If he has a bye week, he goes one and done.
Yeah. It's gonna be exciting to see what this match. I can't wait till the playoff matchups just finally get solidified. So I want to see who's going against who, what the stories are. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah. That being said, I'm not sure if you've had a chance to kind of skim over. A lot of the AFC right now is, I would say, set. You've got Meats at 1. It's either Conk or myself at 2, and then Conk or myself at 3, depending on how that falls. And then you've got Blunt Burner right now at 4, who could quite possibly beat Haas. Win the division, and Haas would be out of the playoffs if that's the case.
Yeah, it looks like Blunt's gonna make it. Well,
if he loses week 17. And then if Haas wins, Haas would make the playoffs, I think. Through
okay. So that's gonna be a freaking excellent game. Man.
So you got Royce and then Dumpahanis, and then obviously the Bengals are still in the running there. But let's just put it this way: between Royce, Dumpahanis, and Roland Kuh, who is the most dangerous?
Royce, Dumpahanis, Rowan Kuh. Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna say Royce, strictly by experience. I know how you feel, what you think about Royce and whatnot, but I played in the division with Royce for a long time, and I understand his gameplay. And Royce's defense is excellent. If you don't score a lot of points, you're gonna lose against Royce. And the fact that he's been to a Super Bowl and with the pressure involved, I take Royce.
Yeah, I'm going to say Dumpahanis still. He's got the 4th ranked offense right now, number 1 pass game, and he's just got a rookie quarterback that's playing well. Seth Stocker, 36 touchdowns so far and over 4,200 yards. He's throwing the ball. His defense is hurting him right now. Listen, I like Rowan Cook, but the Bengals just are not very talented, and when you don't have talent, come playoff time, it's tough to win. It's tough to win against those superior opponents. Looking at the NFC, first of all, let's talk about the NFC South, your division. Mike FML's 8-7. Is Mike FML just a one and done guy?
Yeah, more than likely it's gonna be Mike out the first round. Look, I'm gonna go in there rooting for you, Mike. I want to see you do well in the playoffs. But when it comes down to the NFC South, man, we're not the best division in this game right now, man. And we have to step it up. And I think we're going to step it up here pretty soon because each one of us is getting better. NYT, I think, have gotten leagues better over the last couple of years. Like he won the division maybe 2 years ago. So we're trying to figure things out in the NFC South. But yeah, I think Mike will be one and done.
Yeah, I would say so. And then looking at the NFC East, it looks like the Eagles are going to sneak in to the playoffs. Is this Eagles team the same team it was in terms of kind of scaring people up, or have they been figured out? I know we talked on it a little bit, but
I don't know, man. I guess it depends on, right?
Yeah,
because from what Gov says, he says that he's not really that into it. So Gov, if you are into it and you want to win a Super Bowl, I need to hear you say it. I need to hear you talk some smack right now, beforehand, not afterwards. I
Right.
want to hear you talk smack now. Not saying, hey, I'm just lackadaisically playing this season. If I lose, whatnot, whatever. No, 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 no. You don't get to do that. You're the Gov. You're the 4-time Super Bowl champ. You better get your ass in here and you better make these playoffs.
Yeah, the thing about Gov is when he was a Jaguars, he was much, I would say, I guess more like he was more intimidating. Looking back at 2019, the first season of this cycle, he went to the divisional round. He had a bye week, and then he played Grams. Grams is starting. I think Grams had a starting quarterback that was out, and his team and Grams lost that game basically. And
Yes.
then the next season, Gov won the Super Bowl. But Gov, the teams that Gov beat in the playoffs were NYT. He did beat Oshie by 3, and he beat Rolls
Yes.
Royce. So is that a
Yes.
perfect storm of a playoff run if you have NYT and then play? Not that Royce is a bad player, but he's no.
Yes.
I'd rather play Royce out of meets myself and Haas, and
True
then
that.
he lost the Super Bowl obviously last year, and this year he's got 6 or 7 losses, and he just quite isn't playing up to the standard that was set. So I think
Yeah.
this is a big season for Gov, who is saying he's not into it. I think that we could see a one and done season and the downfall of the Eagles. And look, the Cowboys and Gramazins is looking really good right now.
I was just about to mention that, man. Grams has turned this thing around. He's over the last since the cycle started, man. Grams has been kind of he'll tell you that Grams plays a lot of games in different leagues, and he's been struggling pretty much all around. But from what I've seen this year in the SML, Graham has kind of figured some things out. He's got things working. He beat the crap out of me one day, and he was like, "I think I'm feeling my offense back again, man." I was like, "Yeah, I guess so, bro." He just fucking put 30 up on me to 0. But yeah, Graham's is turning this thing around, and I think we're getting the old Grams back.
So that leads a question too. You got Future Empire, Oshie, and Grams are my top 3. Who
Yes.
represents the NFC?
Future better represent the NFC this year, man. Man, every year I'm looking at this man's name at the top of the charts. I'm watching these man's games, and I'm just like, dude, how do you beat him? And he gets to the playoffs, and then he's out, and I don't understand it. So, and I root for this guy. So I want to see Future win it, and I think he will this year. I know I've said it plenty of times before, but I think Future's going to finally get over that hump, man, and that might be who the AFC conference championship might see in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see Future finally make it. Future is the guy I think everybody kind of roots for because he hasn't made it yet, and we want to see Future on the big stage, live commentary. You'd have me
Yes,
or me if I'm not in the game, just
yes,
voicing the call. It'd be great to see.
yes,
So that
yes.
being said, what's your Super Bowl predictions?
Super Bowl predictions. I'm gonna go with Future. Can I pick 2?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna go Future versus Meats in my dream scenario. Okay, so Future versus Meats, I think that'll be freaking awesome. I think I would love to see that. And but who do I think is going to be in the Super Bowl? I think Gov will make the playoffs. I think he'll have an easy road to victory, and I think we might end up seeing Prime versus Gov again.
Yeah,
Sorry, guys.
it'd be crazy to see Gov kind of take what might be the role. What I'm doing now is just kind of floating along in the regular season, winning some games but losing some games. Then all of a sudden, come playoff time, there's a switch that's hit. Maybe Gov's he's just plotting and planning all along.
Man, when playoff comes, y'all better watch Gov. Yeah, if you look over, you're out of your damn mind.
So, final question here before we wrap up this podcast.
Yes.
We got teams like the Packers who beat Gov, turned around, and in a must-win game got smacked by the Giants and Gab Mack. That's the lawyer killer. You've got the Browns who have been in a few must-win games, and then he dropped like 2 in a row. Field General, who's right at the cusp of things, he just can't win consistently
Mm-hmm.
enough to make the playoffs. What's your advice to the guys who are always there but not quite there, if that makes sense?
I think you guys suffer from a case of ZZing. My name's a verb too. Yeah, I think it's complacency. We get into this mode of not taking these games as serious as maybe we should. I it's really hard to explain when you're playing. You're concentrating, but you're not really into it. You're not like I said that I've been suffering from similar goat syndrome from back in for
Yes.
last cycle. Yeah. So it's not totally just concentration. It's just like being into the game. Every play, you don't want that opponent to gain a yard. If you're playing like that, and I felt like the last few games I've been playing like that because that's why I kind of like called meets out because I felt good about my play at that time because I had just came off a win against the Lions. I beat somebody in the primer. I felt good the way I was playing, and um, NYT could have been tanking. That's that. He could have let me win, but I had been winning, and I had been feeling good. I've been counting line and making sure, hey, this guy, I'm gonna make sure I double him, and I'm making sure that all the cornerbacks are matched up and that kind of thing. I think the simple and small things are what get us over the top in the SML because every player is good. I can't think of one person that's really not good. If we even talk about Raiders is a good player, and he will beat most anybody I put him up against normally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just in the SML guys, you have to be locked down. You have to be 100% invested. You have to know that you're going to win before you start.
Yeah. It is a mental game. And like you said, I went through that last cycle where just heading into the game, you're not locked in or you're kind of got a
Yeah,
negative thing in your head, and then you play negative. It is what it
yeah,
is. So people like Raider fan, who is obvious he's got a negative taste in his mouth about the game that might not go away until Madden 21. But I do want to take a quick second before we end this podcast. I want to shout out a
yes,
few things. SML the Primer. If you have anybody
yes,
interested in joining the Dev League, send them our way. SML the Breakdown. It's bi-weekly. We just did one on Woods. It's a great show.
yes,
If you're interested in being on the next episode, I might put you on there. Another thing, we've got Chris and Kells, we've got Rowan Kuh,
yes,
we got Meets every
yes,
so often. We've got a lot of guys putting out content. We got Rolls Royce writing articles. I've seen Future Empire wrote one recently as well. We got a lot of
yes.
guys putting out content. I just want to give them a shout out. Huge help to the league. Goes a long way, and yeah,
I was just about to do that right before you did. I was gonna let me shout out these guys because man, Chris and the primer, bro, you're doing an excellent job, dude. Chris distributing graphics through guys' DMs and
mm-hmm.
letting them post them themselves. And I thought that was just freaking cool that
Yeah,
these guys was just coming out of nowhere, just popping up saying, hey, NFC South champ, they got a badass graphic for the primer. You know what I mean? So yeah, those kind of things. And Rowan, he's been helping out a lot with graphics. He's been like
very
being
talented.
really cool lately. Yeah, and so in the prime, I'm getting some guys to help, and shout out to my boy Conk
Yep.
too. I'm gonna give you your hey man, Conk is good for stirring the pot, bro. And if you don't stir the pot, things will stick to the bottom. So Cox come back
Yep.
into the primer, man, and he's got my fucking chat popping, dude. So congratulations to him too. So if you want to come to the primer, man, it's a great place to play. Come and play with us
And
and
look,
have fun.
Primer's
To
got.
the SML.
We might not be filled up in Primer, but we're putting out content that some leagues don't put out in their
Oh,
standard league.
podcast.
Yeah,
Paulie.
Polly.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's no content coming out of Primer. We just got to get filled up. And when you're trying to set a standard of the SML standard, we've had a 32-man league. We've been filled up since last cycle, and
Yes.
everybody's just on the same page. That's a tough standard to meet, but I can assure you, I can
Yes.
promise you, and I can guarantee you with all my heart, the Primer's going to freaking pop off. It's going to be there. It's
Yes.
going to be the best league, second best league, or tied for the first league on PS4. It's just,
Yes.
hey, everything takes time, and Rome wasn't built in a day. It's a small step. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But Primer will be there, and it'll be there to stay.
Yes.
So,
Well, we're gonna wrap this thing up, guys. Man, get ready for the playoffs. It's about to be hype. We're about to get in the hype machine mode. And anybody who wants to help me hype, DM me.
yes.
Let's hype these games. I can't do them all by myself. Let's make sure that these games are on display. If you want your game on display, DM us. Let us know the time when you're getting ready to play because we want to put it in the primer. We want to put it in the SML. We're trying to get as many views as we can so we can make this thing look be SML material.
Yes, sir. And for me, I just want to say shout out SML, everyone listening. And hey, it's playoff time. You know what that means. GOAT mode is on. Playoff mode's on. Meats, I've got you in my sights. Conk, I've got you in my sights. Dump, I've got you in my sights. Blunt burner, you're in my sights. AFC,
Oh,
just know you're going down. NFC, I guarantee a Super Bowl back to back, 3 or 4. The GOAT's back. Here we go. SML, be ready. SML
let's
Total
go.
Access. This primetime 000. Thanks for listening.